Well, as any of my friends know who've been watching this rebuild, I got the whole bike put back together, and then I had one cylinder, the second cylinder in from the left, stone cold when I started the bike. And we've gone through the checks in an earlier video, and there's no compression at all, and the valve clearances show that the exhaust valve appears to be having no clearance at all. So I looked into, I've had a Haynes manual here that's been pretty good so far, but looked in it and got the clearances for the valves here, and they seemed tiny to me. They were working in as down as small as 18 thousandths of a millimetre, which seemed like a real small clearance. And I couldn't find a feeler gauge. I went and bought a better feeler gauge with 32 leaves. So anyway, didn't make any sense to me. So I went back and checked online, and it turns out the Haynes manual is wrong. So here are the correct figures, and what we've got in the Haynes manual is a larger figure just transposed by 1 decimal place. So instead of being 0.08 to 0.018 millimeters, it should be 0.08 to 0.18, not 0.018. So we've figured out what's wrong there, but this Haynes manual, if you've got it, don't rely on it for valve clearances. Anyway, I'm going to get on now and check all the clearances. So the method here is going to be to get a pen and paper, ta-da, and to make a neat little chart on here and record all of the clearances on here. So the way that you do that is I've taken the little timing cover off there so that we can use this bolt here with a socket to turn the engine over, and you take the clearances with the cam lobe pointing directly away from the valve. And on this engine the valves are offset slightly at an angle, so you don't do it with the lobe like this. You do it with the lobe directly offset, directly opposite the valve bucket, the follower. Anyway, we'll get to it, and I'll post a bit more as we go. So I've set the first exhaust cam lobe up to measure, and I've taken out the full range of feelers that I need. This is the range we're working with, from 0.003 of an inch to 0.007, and that's the full range. I'm just going to check each one to see what the clearance is. So let's get started. So just to show those who are not sure how to take one of these clearances, we have the cam lobe facing up directly opposite the valve, the bucket that covers the shim, and get the thinnest of the feelers. This one's 0.03 of an inch, and slide it in there, and it should just go sort of straight through. What you're looking for is something that will pass under, but just with the slightest of sort of contact. It's a feel thing. It's hard to explain really, but you just feel that it's just going. It's not slopping around in there. Just fits in. So that 0.03 goes through. If we go now then and try the 0.04, see what happens there. And if you see that begins to buckle up, it won't go. So the clearance on that one is 0.03 of an inch. Now it happens that is right on the bottom range of permissible, so that's just in tolerance, but only just a little bit on the tight side really. So now we go back to the socket on the crank, and just by the way, you use the bigger of, there are two, you can see there are two nuts on there. Use the bigger one, 17mm on this bike, and you just turn things over again on that, till they come round, and I'm doing the second of the exhaust valves up there. Bring it round till it's at the top where you want it to be. That's about right. And we'll do the clearances again, and you build those up one at a time till you've got the full picture. So I checked and double checked just to make sure I'd got the figures right. Went through it all twice over, you know. And you can see here that 2 of the cylinders are okay, and the middle 2 are not okay. They don't have enough clearance either on the exhaust or the inlet. And on the exhaust side, you can see that if the minimum clearance is 3 thousandths, the 2 outer cylinders are only just okay, and the inner ones are too tight. And on the inlet, it's a little bit better, but the 2 outer ones are, you know, just okay. And again, the 2 inner ones are too tight. So next job, take both cams off. I was thinking I was going to get away with the exhaust, but they've both got to come off and all be reshimmed. And on a final, more cheerful note, my petunias have come out quite nice.